Hi, my name is Yvette Pegues, and I'm here at AMS in Tucker, Georgia with Dallas Crum, and we're going to talk about Live Free. The name of this episode is actually #Live Free, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what that means in just a moment.
I've been blessed with the testimony.
Welcome back. Yvette Pegues on disAbilityLifeTV. I'm at AMS Vans here in the kind of south side of Georgia, kind of Atlanta area of the state of Georgia, probably 45 minutes to an hour away from wherever you are. And I'm here with Dallas Crum. So what's your role here at AMS? What do you do?
So my family started the business, but I do community relations.
Okay, so I'm so glad you started with that.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I love the most about this multi-thousand square foot area, and we're just talking about the showroom, right? Mm-hmm. Is community. Yeah. So let's start with that.
Okay.
Tell me about your community involvement, since that's your expertise.
Okay, so part of the reason we moved into this building is it's a Ford dealership that went under in 2008 when the car industry was really struggling. It was empty for 5-6 years, and then we bought it and moved in. This building, part of the reason we moved in is because there's nothing else like it. There might be one, maybe two other facilities in the mobility industry that kind of mirror or even rival what we do here. So we wanted to be able to offer the community, individuals with mobility challenges, the same experience that anybody would have buying a car. So, you know, if I go buy a car at a Toyota dealership, we wanted to give our customers the same experience, the same feel, pulling up to a lot with 200 plus accessible vehicles. Wow. The same service experience, the same equipment. You know, customer waiting areas. We have multiple customer waiting areas. So that was a big part of why we decided to move into a facility like this and start engaging our community. Yeah.
That's what I love about this location. It's also really accessible. Have you always had like the 0 level sidewalks from the parking area into the building? Has that always been that way?
Yeah, when we moved in, we did. We made sure there was 0 boundaries. Any part of the building that would be accessed by our customers is accessible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's important to me, and it sounds like, you know, Mr. Obvious. He's not Mr. Obvious because it is not something that dealerships or buildings abide by. So the fact that I can roll out of my car and directly into the building without looking for a curb cut or coming in on the wrong side because the curb cut is on the opposite side of the store, but I can literally roll right in, and there are power doors.
Yeah, every door is accessible. Push button power doors, every door that is not employee use.
Right.
Yeah, no curbs to go over.
I love that.
Yeah.
Even the bathrooms.
Yep, bathrooms.
You know, I won't go into detail, but I did have a little fun in the bathroom because of the way the door is set up, but we won't go into that, different show. But I wanted to talk about a few other things because you mentioned community, but there's something specifically like a day of the week that you highlight, you know, not just your...
Okay.
Yeah.
Testimonial Tuesdays.
Testimonial Tuesdays. Yes,
Okay,
tell me about that.
Jenna, our social media expert, she started what's called Testimonial Tuesday. So every Tuesday we post a photo or a letter that we received from one of our customers who purchased from us. And we're nationwide, so even though we're headquartered in Georgia, we have a store in Texas, but our customers are all over the U.S.
That's amazing, and that's another thing that's pretty awesome, because Dallas brought up a really good point. Just because I have a disability, and because my disability isn't something I was born with, I'm familiar with what that feels like, going into a car dealership and having kind of access to things and having this amazing showroom. We did a Facebook Live on it that you can take a look at, but it does have that feel, but this space is used for more.
Yeah.
What else do you do with all this space?
We offer it up to a bunch of different nonprofits in the in the local area, or anybody that wants to come in and use our facility, they can, for free, we'll offer up our showroom. We can empty it out. We've had several different groups come in, Disability Link.
Yes.
I know you're aware of them.
Yes.
Focus is a nonprofit local, Fragile Kids, Muscular Dystrophy Association, the ALS hosts a support group here.
Wow.
So anybody's welcome that's part of our community to come in and use our building for employee training, or a, appreciation day,
Right.
or a fundraising event, or whatever they want to do.
So Disability Link, the work you did with them was more of a job fair, right?
Yeah, we did. We hosted their, it was MENA, their job fair, but they work with Disability Link, and
Got it.
they have an annual job fair, and they hosted it in our showroom. We had 40 different employers here, all looking to hire people with a variety of different challenges or disabilities. So I mean, it was really good.
That's pretty awesome. So you're in the community, for the community, and with the community.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm a parent of 2 special needs kids.
Huh.
Yeah. So
Tell us about that.
Yeah, my son's on the spectrum. He's has an autism diagnosis, and my daughter has a rare chromosome disorder. She's one of 200 people in the world, estimated. There's no real number, but So I have as of 4 years ago, I have a whole new understanding of what the customers and individuals and families and community we serve and work with, what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
Now that's interesting, because before we met, I was really curious about, this AMS Van company, organization, superstore. They seem really dedicated. I'd love to hear the story of how you got started. I'm sure it's like I have to pull out tissue, and it's just this experience that forced you to go into this industry.
It's really not a special story. My dad worked for UPS for years, and they transferred us from Houston to Atlanta and wanted to move us from Atlanta to New Jersey, and my dad said, I'm not going. And my uncle was in the car business at the time and told my dad he should try it, and he did. And through that, he met a family who needed an accessible van, saw how expensive it was, and thought, you know what, I can do this better. I can make it more affordable. I can make it easier to access these products that people need to regain their freedom. And that's it, really. I mean...
Wow. And this was before your children were born?
Yeah, we had no direct connection to the community that we serviced or were represented until my kids were born. So now my family owns the store, but now we also are part of the community that we serve. And,
wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew, right?
Who knew?
Well, we know who knew, but you didn't. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us about how long you've been in this community.
In the store?
Yes.
Okay, so we've been in this building about 3 years.
But before that?
Before that, we were the pioneers of selling accessible vehicles through the internet.
Right.
And when we still do that, and on a nationwide scale, but when we moved in this facility, we really wanted to make an effort to engage our community and in both Houston and Atlanta, and start engaging with our local community and still service the nation as well.
That's amazing. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to thank our sponsors, obviously. But when we get back, I haven't forgotten, we're going to get into the whole Live Free thing, because that to me is like kind of the heart of what you do and how you're doing it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, on a personal level, probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you bring that. I mean, just looking at your office makes it pretty obvious that you bring some of that to work.
Yeah.
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 So stay tuned. We're going to be right back, talk a little bit about Live Free, some of the community opportunities, and some other really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Hang out. We'll be back.
Disability Life TV on location is produced in layman's terms for all your social video needs.
Welcome back. Yvette Pegues on Disability Life TV here at AMS Vans and the Superstore with the super dude here, Mr. Crumb. I just thought of something, right? When we did our Facebook Live, we went through the showroom, and most of what we saw were vans.
Yep.
And because you do more at the Superstore than Vans and just vehicles, because you have other items that you sell here as well, and you have resources that people can use. It's kind of a one-stop shop Superstore, hence the name. But there's a blog that came out. It's Drive the Car You Want.
Yeah, the way you want.
Yeah, drive the car you need the way you want.
Yeah.
I mean, that blew my mind because there's this perception that if you have a wheelchair, power or manual, that you've got to be in a minivan.
Yeah.
And there's some misperception that just because it's called AMSVans.com on the website, that it is a Superstore. So tell us about what that means. You know, drive the car you want the way you need. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, everybody's different and everybody's abilities are different, whether you're in a chair or not. You know, just individual capabilities all vary. So the cool thing is, no matter what your abilities are, you can adapt a vehicle that's going to meet your needs. That vehicle may vary, and the products you may need might vary, but at the end of the day, you know, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get out and live free.
So tell us about some of the cars that are not vans.
Yeah.
Since you do your conversions right here on site, yes, you heard it, they do conversions right in the building. Tell me about some of the cars that you've had a chance to convert.
Yeah, so we put hand controls on Cadillac CTSVs.
Which are fast.
Yeah, they're fast, and the guy left some skid marks burning out of our parking lot. But yeah, he goes and drag races that car.
No way.
Yeah, and yeah, he spent time at the Shepherd Center here in Atlanta. But we've done Maseratis, Porsche, all kinds. I mean, we've put lifts in Dodge, Ram trucks.
Tell me how that works.
Yeah, so I mean, there's different modifications you can do to trucks. There are companies out there that do fully accessible conversions. And what I mean by that is you can ride in the vehicle in your wheelchair.
Yes.
So some people need to do that, some people don't. But
Right.
There are companies out there that make fully accessible trucks. We have one here. You can also put lifts in the truck bed. You can do special seats that come out and lower so that it transfers easy, and then put your chair or scooter or whatever it is in the truck bed or on a lift on the hitch receiver. It's all based on what your abilities are. But there's products out there for everybody.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that if you drive a Mercedes, if it's a convertible, if it's a race car even,
Yeah.
if you need hand controls, if you need any type of accessible vehicle from a lift to a six-way to whatever you need, it's done here. So the customization is pretty amazing because you're touching everything that that your consumer buys.
Right.
So it's not like, well, I've got to call someone else to figure out why this didn't work right.
No, our equipment manager, Dan Arbuckle, he's been in the industry 14 years.
Wow.
He's seen and done it all. He also has a daughter with some special needs, so he's part of the community. And yeah, if it's out there, he knows about it. He's probably done it, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. But he runs our equipment department, and he's an awesome guy.
That's cool. It's good to know that even though it's a one-stop shop, that there's expertise in areas even outside of
Right.
AMS that you bring to the table.
Right.
So I love that we are talking about this because it really brings me to the hashtag Live Free, because I had a pretty cool car before my traumatic brain and spinal cord injury, and it literally sat in my garage for 5 years collecting dust because first of all, I didn't know that I could drive after, losing the ability to walk. And then when I found out that I could, I kind of was afraid. And I had so many offers to sell my car, but it was like my baby. And to think that you can bring your baby in here and know that it'll be nurtured really does speak to the live free in my mind. Tell me where that originated and what that looks like in your mind and here at AMS.
Well, I could be reaching here, but I'm sure that car still symbolized, a part of your life that wasn't associated with learning a new normal. So,
Yes.
part of keeping that car is, man, that was my out to get out of my home. But the thing is you can still do that. It's just not going to look the same, or it might not look the same.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't have the same freedoms you had before you had a disability or mobility challenges. If it happened out of nowhere and you had an accident and you have to learn how to live a life differently than you lived before. Whereas, my case, my daughter, she was born this way, so the only life she'll ever know is the life she lives.
Good point.
So, Live Free is more about shrugging off whatever limitations, whether they're mental or physical or just a barrier in general. Live Free means you don't have to be suppressed by your situation.
Wow.
You don't have to fall to your situation. You can still stand up and still live your life every day, whether it's in a chair or whether it's with a learning challenge. Both of my kids have, my daughter has global developmental delays, so we have no idea how she'll progress, but you know what? She's living life and brings more joy to anybody than I've ever met. So
she's delicious. She's beautiful.
Yeah, so the thing is Live Free just means this life we're in is temporary. You got to make the best of it no matter what the situation that you have while you're here. Whatever it is, live the best life you can. And it might look different from time to time.
And that's not always a bad thing.
No.
I have 2 small boys, as most of you already know, and they love my gadgets. They're always playing around with my AT, my assistive technology, and they think it's the coolest thing ever. And I'm just going to digress for just a minute and not really too far away from what we're discussing. But I have, because I work with children so much, I have had typical children with no disability and no reason to believe that they ever will ask me, well, gosh, Ms. Yvette, can I get one of those chairs? I'm talking 2nd and 3rd graders. That's such a cool chair. Or, wow, you drive such a cool car. And of course, I'm not saying, dude, being disabled is the way to go. But what I am saying, I hope in the way that I communicate this, not just on Disability Life TV, but in life, is that we're all different. Make your different great. So much so that people watching may even say, you know what? Never knew different could look like that, but it looks pretty good. Yeah. Which now speaks to what my 6 and 8 inch heels, since I don't have to walk on them anymore, right? So I love the Live Free concept because I didn't have any role models, with disabilities until I jumped in with both feet, all puns intended, and involved myself in the community. And I think it'll be the same for your daughter. She'll be, if she hasn't already, because she's so amazing, putting footprints in the sand where there were none before. And I think that's what you're doing here at AMS, because it's a totally different look and feel than most people expect. And I love that you live outside of the box. And you build your own boxes. And I mean, we can tell that from your office. We can tell that from some of the stories that you told right here with us today. But I'm just really amazed at what you've been able to do here. But there's also a lot of relationships that you build here at the dealership. Can you tell us about some of those relationships? You did a little bit with the community efforts, but I see some things on your wall, that really represent other parts of the disability community that I'm pretty excited about, like the MDA summer camp here. I mean, tell us about that.
So MDA, we're heavily involved with them. They are going to host several events at our facility this year.
Good.
We support their biggest fundraising event every year, their Night of Hope. The ALS Association, I told you, we host a support group and we attend all their other support groups in the Atlanta area. And then there's several other nonprofits that we support in a variety of different ways. To the best that we have resources available.
So is there an AMS foundation, or you create kind of the foundation feel through organizations who are already doing it?
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of organizations out there already.
Right. That's true.
We don't need to do another one.
Right.
So we would prefer to support as much as we can the ones that are already out there and supporting the community, then diversify what's available.
That's a good point. That's a good point, because there's some great folks out there.
Yeah.
So when we talked a little earlier, because looking at your kids, right, I would say, something's different. So there's obviously visible disabilities like mine that are physical and, mobility challenges, but there are also invisible disabilities.
Yeah.
Do you have clientele that come in with invisible disabilities that need modifications for driving, maybe like an intellectual or developmental disability, maybe like a grip issue or something to that effect. Is there any customization in the invisible disability area?
You know, I think the biggest invisible disability that's out there is mental struggle, and also maybe you know, my mom struggles with fibromyalgia and lupus, and those aren't things you can see.
Chronic pain, yeah. Chronic.
So the biggest thing we can offer is support and community, and we're not all going through this life alone.
Wow.
And you know, to answer your question about adaptations you can make to people who you might not be able to see, nothing comes off. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, there are, you know, there's people with atrophy in their arms and
Right.
things that you might not know until they shake your hand with, you just,
Or
you know.
prosthetics.
Yeah, prosthetics. I mean, there are things that you don't see, or they might have, you might think that people have abilities to grip and then they don't.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are definitely things that you don't notice that as you get to know somebody or as they
Right.
tell you their story, that you're like, oh, okay. But we can, you know, we can always help them figure out the best way to use the abilities they do have
Right.
to obtain the freedom that they're looking for to get out of their home or their, you know, wherever that they're stuck.
And sometimes being stuck at home isn't even just about kind of a casual, you know, outing. We're talking about getting to work,
Mm-hmm.
you know, getting
Yeah.
your kids to school. Those were the things that I felt the most oppressed about, because I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm going to be home and I get it, and my husband takes me everywhere, but my kids, you know,
Yeah.
I can't take them to the park or run an errand. And like you said, create a new normal that doesn't limit me in so many ways that it changes my parenting needs and desires. And so I love the live free concept. But, you know, we've spent a lot of time here talking about some really cool things, and I always hate the end of it. But tell me about what the next phase of AMS looks like, or something you'd like to say to folks who would better be served through the services offered here.
There's a lot of really cool things on the horizon, but our biggest goal this year is to remove any barriers that's preventing somebody from being able to obtain an accessible vehicle or product that would get them mobile.
What are the top 3 barriers that you find?
Funding. Yeah, that's probably the biggest. That's definitely the biggest.
Wow.
Yeah, top 3, I wouldn't even know where else to go from there. I mean,
Really?
the biggest factor preventing somebody from getting a vehicle is always money.
Wow. And so how are you removing those barriers?
Through relationships, through new financing programs, you know, just continually growing our knowledge base of funds that are available. And there are funds available, but it all depends on the individual and their circumstance, their diagnosis, their age, their social economics. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go into funds that are available that have nothing to do with us. It's just each program, you know, tries to represent a different sector of the community. So, you know, vets, there's funding available for them depending on their diagnoses. Could be a lot of funding. Kids, there's always a bunch of organizations out there that help with funding. When you get in between, if you're not a kid, if you're not under 21 and you're not a veteran, it gets a lot harder to find funds. But yeah, there's our biggest goal this year is to try to remove any barrier that would stand in somebody's way from getting a vehicle. But yeah, funds is definitely the biggest, and I mean, we can't. It might be motivating somebody to start their own GoFundMe page, or not to be afraid to ask for help.
That's a good point.
Because the community a lot of the time wants to help,
Right.
and it might not always be financial, but you never know unless you ask.
That's a really good point. I don't know. I want to close out with one more thing.
Yeah.
There's always one more thing, right? Something I noticed here. Something I noticed when I came here, not just in your office, but all the pictures that are on your wall of fame. Tell us about your Wall of Fame. I think that's cool.
Yeah, so the Wall of Fame is an idea that hasn't been fully capitalized on to this moment, but we have probably 60 photos of individuals that have purchased vehicles from us, and when you leave our showroom and you walk through to the restroom or the service department or the break room or kitchen, you walk through the Hall of Fame, and it's got about 60 different individuals or families that have purchased from us, and we've got them framed on the wall. And the vision is to wrap it around, have 1,000 pictures, and we have the customers. We're just not executing the idea very well. So it's one of those great ideas that we're kind of dropping the ball, but
I don't know. Testimonial Tuesdays kind of scoops it back up. A lot of it is virtual. Not a lot of people do the picture thing as much as maybe the social media thing.
Right.
The fact that you care enough,
to
make your clients, your consumers, your community part of your AMS family, I think is really amazing. So no matter how far along it is, the fact that you thought about it, you implemented it, and you're still working on it is amazing.
Yeah.
I know that I spoke with Jenna about this wall, like a social media wall.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's coming, right?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is what she was referring to, but because of the way the Hall of Fame is evolving, we've got a new idea that I'm really excited about, that I don't even really want to say it because it's so good. But we'll post it. We'll take pictures as it evolves and post it.
It's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah.
So no, I love the cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
I know what it is though. Jenna spilled the beans, so I know exactly what it is. But what we do on Disability Life TV is we close out, as I've been trying to do, but there's so much content here. Is a D-Life diamond. So Disability Life shortened is D-Life. And it's really just that nugget, that diamond in the rough in the form of just a couple of sentences or a thought or a quote that you'd like to share with our viewers and leave us with.
Okay, I would say never give up.
Wow.
And I would say, live free.
Yeah.
Just get rid of anything that's holding you down, and don't give up. Keep going. And that's what I'd say.
So both of those things are very prominently displayed. I think you have "Don't Give Up" on your door, right?
Yeah, never give up's above the threshold.
Yeah, so you can't even come into this office without not thinking about not giving up.
Yeah.
And then the hashtag Live Free, which
Live free.
love.
Yeah.
And then your blog. So give us your contact information.
Okay.
What is your website? Give us your social media tags and obviously your hashtag.
Yeah, so amsvans.com. We've got 200 accessible vehicles and examples of everything we do there. Prices are listed. You can see us on Facebook. AMS Vans Inc. I think is our Facebook. We're on Instagram. What else did you say?
Did you do Snapchat yet or Twitter?
We do have a Twitter account. I don't do any of this, so that's why I'm struggling here.
It's okay. Jenna's gone.
Yeah.
But what's your number?
800-775-8267.
And we have an 800 number because you're not just in the state of Georgia.
Right. I can give you the local numbers if you want, but 800 number will get you where you need to go. So
you have another AMS headquarter in Texas?
Yep, we've got a showroom fully equipped and staffed with vehicles in Pearland, Texas, just south of Houston. But yeah, it's great people down there. If you're in Texas, go visit them.
And if you're not, you can still get a...
If you're not, you can still call us and we'll take good care of you.
So you have like this national, that's why we have an 800 number, right?
Risk-free delivery anywhere in the U.S. We'll bring one to you. If it doesn't work, you don't like it, you don't pay anything.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a little bit more touring. I will post some of those pictures and videos online, but I have just had such an amazing time.
Thank you.
Spending time with Dallas here. He's an amazing person. He's totally funny. Great dad, great person to work with, and I'd really love for you guys to check us out. So thanks for watching.
See you again.
I've been blessed with the testimony. I've been blessed. I've got a testimony. I've been blessed with the testimony.